Okay, so the things we had to do for Sprint 3 is basically have the mushroom be poisoned and cause the centipede to drop to the lower portion of the field based on that. If the mushroom is poisoned, we also have the collisions with the bullet, and the segment it destroys, it'll become a mushroom on that location, and then put a new head on the remaining segment. If the head's killed, then the follow-up segment becomes a head. Okay. We also have it so that if it hits the bottom, the centipede only moves up until the top of the blaster area. So the first thing I'm going to show is the centipede itself actually moving with the segments behind it. So as you can see, it works. There's a smooth turn. It moves gradually. So then if I shoot the head, it'll create a new head after it, and then the mushroom where the head's actually been destroyed. And if I shoot the body, for some reason, if I shoot it right in between the two segments, then it picks it up as if there's two collisions. So then once it actually rearranges the links, it'll cause a crash, and I'm not sure about how to avoid this whatsoever. But if I retry and just hit one segment, it'll work, you see. But anymore, if it's right in the middle, it will not work properly. But it does work, essentially. Okay, so I have the heads being killed and the follow-up segments being replaced with the head. And I'll show you the code for that. So basically, here's the body. Basically, once the collision happens, check to see if there's a mushroom at that body segment position on the grid. If there's a mushroom there, then don't do anything. If there isn't, then create a mushroom there. This prevents the game from having two stacked mushrooms. Also, if there's a next, so if this body segment is actually followed by something, then you want to set the rotations and this current stack, the next current stack, so that the head that's replacing the body actually has the information needed to continue the path. And as you can see, it's created at the next segment's world position, or the one that it's gonna take. And then if there's a second body, then that second body needs to know that the centipede is the new head is going to be its previous. So that's what we've done here, and then the new centipede to the next body, the next one. And then we destroy the first body, the one that's being replaced, and then the bullet and the head. The head itself is basically the same code. So this is the head, the last one was the body. It's literally like the same code, so there's not much need to explain there. So the mushroom itself, I stored the poison mushroom as a state using a boolean is poisoned, and basically the way I have it set up right now, just for show, is that when a bullet hits it, it'll set it to the poison sprite state on the sprite sheet, and set the is poisoned to true. Okay, so if I show that, I'm just gonna destroy one of these. Let's get the mushroom. If I hit it, it'll become poison. So the other thing we had to do was make sure that once the centipede hits the poison mushroom, it'll go downwards. Sorry about the phone. So here we go. I'm just gonna instantiate the actual field. Not instantiate, initialize. Sorry. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna pick one of these mushrooms. It's gonna be the soon. So it's going to hit that one once it comes back, and then it'll hit it all the way down. So down, 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 down. So it hits there. It goes back up. So it does work, but as you can see, there's a slight bug right now. And that's basically it goes past the borders and it goes a little bit into the mushroom. That doesn't actually happen all the time, so it does work properly in a sense that it knows that there's a poison mushroom, it knows that there's a regular mushroom, but for some reason, once I actually split the centipede, sometimes it creates kind of an offset, so it's not actually exactly following the previous one for some reason, and I don't know why, but logically the way I did it, I should make sense that it would work, but it doesn't. So I think the reason for it not working is because if you see the movement, it's a little weird. They're not actually spaced the same amount at every frame, which it should be. Some segments like stop back, but if I show you initially, let me just show you that it actually comes back after it hits the bullet blasters section. So it goes back down. Yep. Okay. But if I leave just empty field. If you see the first head, the head and the first segment of the body, it'll follow too close, and then once it actually hits a cell grid, it'll separate and then just jump in again. And I think when I destroy one of these body segments, it creates an offset so that it's not actually following the correct path. I'm not 100% sure how to fix it because I did it the way you said you'd done it, and I'm not sure if that caused a problem for you, but that's what's happening to me. And I think that is all we had to do. There's the poison mushroom. The centipede drops the lower part of the mushroom field once it hits the poison. Collision with bullet creates a mushroom and a new head on the remaining segment. If the head's killed, then the follow-up segment becomes a head. The proper behavior when hitting the bullet, the poison mushroom, and then having that horizontal blaster border. I'll show you really quickly how it did that. So on the head segment, as well as the mushroom hit. So to check the mushroom, it gets the feel and checks for it calls a method called check mushroom for poison. It basically gets just similar to the one that checks to see if there's a mushroom. Does the same thing except it acts as the mushroom and gets the is poisoned poison state from the mushroom. And if the mushroom actually returns as being poisoned, so then you're colliding, quote unquote, with a poison mushroom, and then I have the boolean is poison set to true. And what this ends up doing is at every time that it checks to see what move it should make, it should be making next, if it's poisoned, which is the first test to see what it should be doing, if it is poisoned, then do a turn, and it'll keep coming back to this until it's set back to false. And that's where I have this, where if the centipede is on the very last row, then it has touched the bottom, so set the boolean I have as a state for if it's touched the bottom, set it to true, and set poison state to false. So this actually acts as a duality type thing for both the poison state and to see if the centipede has actually gone past the border, so that whenever it makes a move, if it's at the top blaster border and it has already touched the bottom, then the direction that it's going to be moving in vertically is always going to be down, so that positive. So it sets that direction down. Okay, and I think that settles everything. Should be everything. But yeah, I'm having trouble with those two bugs, or maybe one bug, depending on if this fixes it. The whole movement being kind of delayed, and thus when I shoot body segments, sometimes, yeah, see like that, like this one on the left, it's a little weird, but the one on the right is slightly better. But there's an offset definitely because of the body segment separation. But it doesn't happen all the time. That's the thing. It only happens sometimes, and I think that's when I'm actually like hitting it when it's that delayed moment, which causes a problem. But the way I have it set up, I don't know why it's doing that. I know that when I check to see if there's what I should do next, it doesn't actually move because it spends that one frame actually checking and setting the next thing. But if I set them so that it does the first one once it actually sets it in, I get really weird, really weird glitches. Like, not glitches, but weird behavior. But yeah, that's it. So that's what I've done, and what I need to do is fix those glitches. And the orientation of the turning up, because it looks a little weird. But yeah, it's very visual, just visual bugs, except for the movement one. That one I have to fix. And I think that's it.